I'm ready when you are, Scatha.
Okay, we're going.
And welcome back to Offbeat Melody, the Death Among the Stars guest arc. Last time, the group, after with some help from, I believe this was last time, from Arma, the surviving mate of the patriarch Sasquatch, to open a gate through a large tree, allowing the survivors and the captive cultists back to the safety of the treehouse village. From there, after dispatching of Ben Carmody, the source of this whole situation, the group made their way back to town, circumventing the town just as dawn was starting to rise. Oh, wait, no. I forgot something big. The group departed following a lead learned from the cultist, traveling to a graveyard where a confrontation was had with some of the other surviving cultists, where they were rendered no longer surviving as the group defended and discovered what was Bunzua the Graveworm is now apparently a caterpillar of some kind, as they have woven a chrysalid that is being carried by Suki, appearing to be not an insect chrysalis, but more possibly carved from bone.
For a minute,
Oh
you
yeah.
said chrysalid, and I was very concerned.
Yeah, I meant to say chrysalis.
I was.
That is a very different game all of a sudden. I guess not that different. I guess not that different.
eh, um,
I don't know.
well,
The grays in this game are way worse than the sectoids.
insectoids. Yeah, and that conflict, the group once again was forced to shed blood. Some of the group for the first time, and upon securing the vulnerable chrysalis, the group then returned to town as sunrise started to show up, as they saw both the reanimated corpses and the fully formed reconstructed filing underground to wait out the day's light. The group found their way to the old lumber mill museum, kind of like the small little local museum for the history of the town and the surrounding area. And while there, as the group was settling in for a much needed rest, uh, Zoe, you went back in search of the vault where one of the survivors mentioned seeing a sketch of Benedict, having recognized him, inside an old manuscript or journal that was being held at the museum. In doing so, you encountered a lone reconstructed, injured, seemingly from previous battles, possibly with its own kind, and it did not seem to attack it. It did not attack you at first, and as you were trying to establish some form of communication with this, Benedict and the guys of the hunter walked in, leading to a rather tense moment. And as this was going on, Julie, you fell asleep.
Yep.
And you were visited by another dream.
Oh yeah. And I asked my good friend to help me relay that once I wake up. So I do wake up, or rather, something wakes up inside Julie. Who is around?
Tycho is right next to you.
Actually, before you wake up, you feel like you try to wake up, and the Weaver says, "Just a moment." As you see the closest approximation to a hand reach out towards this vision of seeing the great tree of the valley being burned in green flame and the sky turn green. She reaches out and plucks a thread, brilliant emerald, and the image ripples. The planet planet below you burns. Large swaths of the continents alight with flames as the ships float silently above. The locals knew of the fleet's approach and set fire to their very own planet in an effort to drive them off. Their motley picket fleet stood no chance against the tomb ships and boarding parties of swarming talons and trolls. Already their survivors and dead were being marched one by one to the cauldrons to be remade and turned against their former world. Necrolites, living servants of the undying court, sing side by side with the chitin choir singing the hymns of the Wormstar, their combined voices echoing within the very halls of every ship. You are standing then on the surface, smoke clouding the sky, but you see, peering through a gap, a massive ship of stone and metal and bone, flanked by the shadows of others, as a lone figure stands on the prow, naked to the void of space. In their hand they hold a twisting metal spear, seemingly alive, as the skeletal human, taller than any that you've seen, hefts this spear crackling with green lightning before it cracks across the space and shatters the shadow of a newly arrived ship. But soon the smoke darkens as you hear the screams of the undead and living increase and the vision fades. And then, Julie, you wake up.
Yeah, see, that's why I wanted you to take over. I can't relay all this information. I don't have good retention.
So Julie kind of pops up saying that.
Yeah.
Oh,
Very confused.
fuck.
And he just perks up like, yo, you alright?
No, I had a prophetic vision, and now I'm gonna try to remember all the fucking details of it. Okay,
Aw.
fucking alien spaceship. People burned their planet to keep naked guy from flashing them. There's a
God.
river, and it's black, and it's poisonous. There's a meteor that hits. That makes the river bad.
Whoa. And Phineas, like,
It's flashing between purple and sky and green. The sky is flashing between purple and green. There's a tree, and it's like really big, and then green lightning bolt makes it
0 seconds in, and she immediately confuses it with Alien Covenant.
I think the sleeper's involved.
and Julie, you, like, when you say the sleeper, you look down at that, your hand that you grabbed, you know, it was your remaining human hand, and there's like a faint, like, sheen of oil.
Gross.
Fuck.
Damn it, what are you trying to make me pee myself while I was sleeping?
I think Zoe wanted you.
It's supposed to be warm, and also water.
Maybe it's just like he's just standing there like, what the fuck just happened? But then he's like starts to look like he's thinking about something. But yes, that is a good transition. Benedict and Zoe. There is a Talon partially ducked into another hallway looking like it's ready to flee at Benedict's approach.
Yeah, and Zoe had asked whoever it was that had come up behind her to go get Julie.
Oh, and then did Benedict turn around and go?
Yes, if memory
okay.
serves.
Actually, yeah, Benedict, you'd be seeing Julie talking about this. And that sounds about her babbling about saying these kind of things that seems to track from what you vaguely remember.
Mm-hmm.
I would like to creep towards the Talon with the candy bar.
And it doesn't have any eyes, but you can tell it's like it's locked on you and watching you, but it looks still tense.
Mm-hmm.
Like it's
Zoe
I think last time it
open-
had like good.
Zoe like rips open the candy bar, so there's some of it in the air, and like waves it slowly to try and get some of the smell towards the Talon. Hey,
And-
hey, doesn't it smell good? I'm sure you've never had candy before.
it like looks at it and it just like tilts its head and then looks at you, tilting its head the other way, almost bird-like.
Oh,
It's just it eventually does slowly reach a hand out towards it, with the claws, and you
Yeah.
can tell these things are vicious. I think you've been
I've been
swiped
hit by
at.
one of these. Yeah.
Yeah,
It also only has one arm, if I remember correctly.
yeah. It only has its left arm. It's missing its right arm, like right around the bicep. Looks like it'd been
Okay.
broken off.
So he's going
And-
to put the candy. Let him take the can. Let it take the candy if it wants to.
And it reaches out and it pauses, and there's actually, I can't remember if we had you roll manipulate.
I did, and I succeeded. I had to show
Oh yeah, that was it.
that I wasn't a threat, and I did that by turning back to my human form.
Yeah, that's right. So it does reach out and like hesitates in your maybe a little moment of worry that it might grab your wrist, but it does pluck the candy bar from your hands with just like thumb and one finger, just pincering it,
Yeah.
and it like brings it up, and you actually can hear like a sniffing sound, although there's like grooves around
No
the base of
nostrils?
that smooth dome, but there are like pits, almost like a snake's heat pits.
Yeah. Oh, okay. I'm familiar with that. I have a.
At it, and then just kind of drops it. Just
Oh.
it does sniff at it as if it understands that it is food, but then just drops it.
So you're not hungry, or can you not eat candy? I think you were made from at least partly from people, so I assume you could eat candy.
You're not sure if it's like understanding your words or if it's just focused on you.
Yeah. She's trying because she can sort of talk to things like this as long as they can
Yeah.
And
I guess
there's
the
she
previous
can
experience-
sort of communicate with things if even if there's a bit of a language barrier.
And okay, so yeah, you do communicate some, hungry and food, and it's like turns away.
Oh,
It actually starts like slinking back the way it was going, but then it pauses and like kind of looks at you, and then it like goes to where there was another doorway in this back hallway, reaches in, and you see it pull out a shredded open bag of jerky, and then it just like starts like shoveling pieces of it into its mouth as it's just sitting there watching you from down this hall, but it is like keeping an
very
non-existent
close
eye
eye
on
on
you.
me. Okay. All
But-
right. So I guess you need meat. That makes sense. The last Talon I saw was eating. Well, the Talon I saw eating was eating fish. So that makes sense. I've got snacks on me. I don't know if I have any jerky, but you've got some yourself.
And yeah, it's just sitting there, just like calmly, just taking a couple pieces, like, and it is eating this fast,
Is it eating like the plastic, or is it only eating
Oh no,
the?
it's pulling the jerky out of the shredded plastic. It looks like it had to like chew open the plastic or sliced it open.
What hurt you? She motions towards the where it's injured. What happened?
It looks to its arm, the stump, and just
Yeah.
kind of hisses. But then when you if you gesture to the slashes across the dome, where normally the other ones you'd seen were smooth, this one is damaged, and it looks like 3 slashes, and it reaches its own hand up and makes a motion across where the slashes are.
So it did it itself, or something with the claws did that?
You're not sure. It might be just
Okay.
gesturing that maybe it was something like it, or maybe it did do it, but you're not sure.
Okay.
But Benedict, you saw Julie wake up from this, and there's a Talon in the building.
Yes, he was going to march over to Julie and not too harshly, but firmly to let her know that it is urgent. Takes her by the wrist of the with the needle hand. Your services are required, needle sister.
Needle sister.
It's a
And,
I
beautiful
love
band
that.
name.
And actually, Kaiko, since
Uh-huh.
you've looked through the book most recently, that is something that Melis has said that she was called back then.
Ah.
So Benedict's trying to get you going.
Julie
Julie?
Benedict follows the hunter, all the while thinking about what it would be like to be in a band called the Needle Sisters.
Shit.
Imagining
We
herself
are
Maybe-
on the
all
stage,
Maybe
strumming a
Curly.
fucking guitar with her fucking needle hand.
we are all a game
God.
all about like melody and music, so
I wouldn't be surprised if Carly tried to start like a punk band named that.
Carly
Um,
Moss was probably more of like a throw. If she did a band, it would be a throwback to like 70s folk music.
That makes sense.
okay. Yeah.
You start a band called the Needle Sisters, and Orenberg is sitting across the way making eye
Yeah.
contact.
Oh my god.
No. So, anyone else following Benedict and Julie?
Kaiko was like,
Hal is watching, but he's not like, it doesn't seem like he's needed, so he's gonna sit there and wait.
Yeah. And just a reminder, the museum, everyone, the windows, the shades are up. The windows are closed. The doors have been locked. It looked like it was closed down for the evening and just never opened up for the day. But the group is inside like the big central area, kind of like a visitor center area, where it was like a lot of taxidermy of like local things and like a few smaller some exhibits on the side talking about like the logging and history of the town.
Mm-hmm.
And then there's more elaborate like displays in a different wing. Jesus, yeah, I forgot you were hiding over there.
Suki is just gonna watch and go, okay, there's like 3 people in there and a Zoe. I can handle that.
And Phineas, after hearing some of what Julie said, he's just kind of like sitting there in thought.
What about Celia?
What was I doing right now?
I think the group was mostly just getting ready to, to bed down, since Julie had already like sat down and just passed out immediately.
Yeah. How will
Only to
Celia
have a
sleep
dream.
without her? How will Celia sleep without her fish pile?
She has a bed.
I know.
There might be some stuffed like trout or something in the gift shop.
Aww.
Yes.
Celia sleeps on a pile of trout. Oh, so cute. Sorry.
Celia makes a nest of stuffed water animals and is just resting on that.
I would like to, if it lets me, if it tenses up and seems like it's going to bolt again, she will stop. But as long as it lets her, she will try and inch closer.
Okay. Yeah, and it's just watching you. It seems to have a little, not trust, but like cautious wariness of you now, as it's just sitting there, just continuing to eat. And you see it reaches in and grabs another bag and just taking one end in its teeth, it just uses its claws to slice open the bag and just starts picking up the spilled jerky off the ground and eating. But so Benedict, you lead Julie and Kaiko into this like back hallway, or this little back area, and Julie, you see Zoe just laying on the ground, just
I'm not laying on the ground. I'm like,
No, hold on. You just see Zoe in her snake form just scattered across the ground, just
oh,
laying on the ground.
completely flat and empty. It's like, Julie has seen Zoe's sheds before.
I know I was trying for something comedic, so yes, you see Zoe's empty skin on the ground, and for a moment you think she's been knocked out and just collapsed on the ground. But yes, it is just her skin.
Make a good purse out
Weird
of
thing
that.
to say.
Gonna make a curse out of that.
When she moves on and briefly thinks, I've gotten used to some weird fucking shit.
Yeah, and you don't see Julie, or not Julie, Zoe for a second. Oh no, this better not start again. Eventually, you do see her in like the hallway that was connected to this one, and you can, you walk around and she's out there, and you see a lone Talon a little bit further down the hallway, partially in and out of a room, maybe a rec room or like a break room for the staff. It looks like, and it's just sitting there, look to be eating jerky, one-armed, battle damage, dino damage, and you just it sees you all and then like tenses up seeing this larger group of people suddenly show up.
Zoe does not, look away. It's okay. It's okay. They're going to help you. She like motions towards where the arm was. Help. We can help. Right?
Its head is scanning from like person to person warily. It stopped eating and is now like its hand is on the ground looking like it's ready to either pounce or flee.
Okay. Zoe's going to creep slightly forward. Hey, it's okay. I've been here the whole time, and I haven't hurt you. They won't either. Maybe they can help you. Don't you want to be helped?
What was the role you used to communicate with it last time?
I'll manipulate someone.
But it was a dark negotiator, so
Yeah, dark negotiator. You can use to manipulate someone, move on monsters as well as people, as long as they can reason and talk.
Can't really talk, but
it can communicate.
Aware enough. Yeah.
Should I roll it again?
Yeah, I think so, because this is a whole new situation of it's like it kind of trusted you, but now that it's like, oh, not sure about these other people.
Well, that's the general sheet, not mine. Woof. The general has a -1 to charm. Let's see. That is a 5 plus 3. That's an 8.
That's partial, I believe.
Yes.
Yep, 7 and 9 will do it, but only if you do something for them right now to show you mean it.
Okay.
And, well, here's the thing.
Yeah.
After it's like looking from you as you like make this, try to plea to it again. It looks over to Kaiko suddenly, as Kaiko, the flame has engulfed
Kaiko
your
rubs
arm.
salt on her arm.
And there's that hiss. It goes, well, this thing is dangerous. You should let us handle it. But fine, if you don't want my help. And it just goes back to a low smolder.
Made it
And
sad.
Echo was the only one who heard that.
Yeah.
I was commenting out of character.
Actually, Keiko, even with the salt, I'd like the conflicted roll that you have to do.
That would be a flat 10 with my weird bonus.
Okay,
3, 4, 3.
timeline remains intact, and it's just like fine. Oh, it goes back to a low burn, and the Talon, like you hear that the group hears that low threatening hiss, but
Hey, got it.
it's
So I need
kind
to
of like that same attitude of an animal trying to say keep don't come closer kind of vibe.
Okay, so I need to show it that it can trust me right now, right?
More
I
like
have to?
trust the group.
Okay. Okay. How? One more. She holds up a finger for one. One more. She's like trying to use her hands to like, you know. She's talking with her hands. One more
Yeah.
person, come closer. Just one.
Kaiko did a gesture for Julie to go.
Okay.
All right, she walks forward.
And there's that like hiss as it looks towards you, Julie, but seeing Benedict and Kaiko stay back, it does stay in its place, but it's just like
Hey. I haven't hurt you. No one else will. You're okay. We'll help you.
I actually want to ask, how's the hunter feeling about this, watching this?
Yeah.
He is standing at attention. He is incredibly tense. His hand is on the pistol on his side. And if he could glare and squint, he would be.
Zoe was looking at him. I'm sure he'd have the fucking biggest fucking stink eye.
Eventually, when they get back to town, Julie needs to get him like a dry erase marker so he can do like angry eyes or something.
I mean, it's a museum. There's probably one in here.
Yeah. Okay, so it is still tense, but it doesn't look like it's going to flee, and the hissing is still kind of there as more of a defensive vibe you feel, as it seems skittish compared to all the other ones. Even when you saw them acting alone and just kind of like acting like predators on the prowl, this one is skittish.
Zoe's going to put out both hands, palms down. Be safe. I won't hurt you.
And it like lifts up its hand, these long claws, and they curl in and until one just points at Julie's own long talon-like fingers.
For the first time, her eyes do like dart towards Julie while coming closer. Yeah, yes, there. It's like yours, kinda. She won't hurt you. I won't let her. You haven't hurt me. I'm not going to let anyone hurt you. Right, Julie?
Yeah, while we're here, what am I doing?
You're doing what you did with the needle burr.
Oh! Alright.
You can do that, right?
Fucking no. I mean, I can try. I can fuck around and find out.
I mean, that's just Julie's entire character.
Yeah, just be, slow and careful. They're jumpy. They're not. There's something. They're not. They haven't attacked me this whole time, which, says it's a good sign. Who else is here?
Actually, you know what? I guess this would be a perfect time for investigate a mystery.
Oh.
'Cause
Okay.
this is
Okay.
this talent is technically a mystery.
Okay.
For
That is
everyone?
The 4 of you that are back there, you each get a roll.
Let's see. Fuck. All right. I got a 6.
That's okay. Kaika will pull up the weight with
Oh, wait.
a 12.
Is that a 6? Yeah, that was a 6. even
I
with
also
my
got a 12.
even with my fucking modifier and my
Gal squad.
ability, 6. It makes sense. I'm pretty tense. Zoe's pretty internally tense herself. She's trying not to show it, but she is like, fucking palms down to a talon as she
Yeah.
has seen the damage that can do firsthand.
Yeah, and you're in your snake form when you've tangled with them. So
Statistically, she is in no way any less competent as a human,
Yeah.
but
okay, so okay, everyone got pretty high except for Zoe. So
I don't
we
think.
got a 10 plus, right?
Yep.
So you each get hold of 2, which if someone asks a question you want, you can hold on to a hold till later. But what happened here? What sort of creature is it? I mean, what can it do? What can hurt it? Or what hurt it? Where did it go? What was it going to do? And what is being concealed here? And you can, if there's a different but related question about it, but feel free to ask. You might be able to figure
Since Kaika has a
something
hold
out.
of 3, since Kaika has a hold of 3, it's
2.
what hurt it, what's being concealed here.
Investigate a mystery is a hold of 2 on a 10 plus.
Ah.
But, which one did you want? Sorry.
What hurt it and what's being concealed here.
Okay, what hurt it? Looking at it, even from this distance, it has some pretty obvious injuries. Its arm, from what you can tell at this distance, not being able to really get up too close, it looks like the arm was cleaved. It's a fairly clean kind of a wound. It's not too jagged like it was broken off. And, rather than it being at a joint, it doesn't seem like it was pulled off, but rather cut. And you see some other cracks in its armor that looks like maybe blunt force, like it was thrown around. But those claws across its face, judging by the placement and angle, it was done by another talon's claws, but not by itself. Those are not self-inflicted.
This one was attacked by another talon. Why though?
Wait, what?
And
You say lots of them?
I said this one was attacked by another talon. Why though?
Oh, okay.
And you said what is being concealed here?
Yep.
The other one? I may have to get back to you on that one.
If there's nothing being concealed here?
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if you'd be able to really get that one without a close look at it.
Well, it can also be used to determine, is there anything else skulking about this museum?
Oh, yeah.
Or, why... Concealed here could be also, why was it attacked?
Actually, as it's, shifting around, you realize that some of the discoloration of it is actually it does seem discolored compared to the other reconstruct. You don't know if it's because it's newer or older model, or if it's because of the injuries. But its back, you realize, is scorched, sunburned.
Ooh.
It looks like it spent probably the previous day out in the sun. And it looks like it was in here trying to hide from the sun for the coming day. And Benedict and Julie, you both have 2.
I'm gonna keep my hold, because I feel like it's gonna be more useful later.
Okay.
As will I.
Okay. So
Did they hurt you?
and it like reaches up to the stump of its arm and grasps it with with its hand and just lets this low guttural hiss of just resentment. You get
Oh.
this vibe of just resentment.
Oh.
And actually, there's like this croaking sound, and Benedict and Kaiko, because you were the ones closest to the Chitin Choir, this is alarming. It croaks a word that you vaguely recognize as this cosmic language that the choir was singing, as it says, and only Julie and you, Zoe, understand this, as it says, weak.
Aw. No. No. We don't hurt those who are weak. We help them.
All right,
That she
I feel this guy.
points.
Let's give this a good try. And Julie's gonna start fucking reaching for the strings.
I believe that's a big magic. Is that what you would
Yeah.
roll for that?
I mean, normally I would just do this as plot bullshit, but since I'm playing a character, that's what would make sense. Yes.
Can I roll to help someone?
Kaiko give moral support.
Can I help
see.
with magic?
Okay.
I guess big magic, it's not really a specific role. So yeah, it would be use magic.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Zoe, I believe
weird's
you.
3. We're fine.
Yeah, Zoe, I'd probably say that if you want to do a help out, you could, since you are the one who established communication with this thing.
Motherfucking 10!
I got an
Nice.
8. Wait, I got an 8. I didn't need it, but I got an 8. Because I have a 0 to that, because that's cool. Cool is like my second worst.
Oh, TT, you with that you get +1, so it's an 11, and yeah.
Okay, so here's how I want to flavor this, in particular because I think this will work really well because I'm a keeper representing a couple specific supernatural beings, and you are the keeper representing this specific supernatural being's thing. Julie reaching out with the needle channels the Weaver, and the Weaver pulls on this thing's strings to communicate with it.
So could I offer a weird idea since you're trying to help it? Using Zoe's shed skin to try and patch it up.
Well, we wanted her to do the thing to it that the Weaver did in the needle burn.
Yes,
that
but
might
it is
be,
also
I
pretty
will-
hurt.
Yeah, I'll say it would be two separate things.
That's fair.
Two roles, but to repair it or rewrite it is what Julie's trying to do.
is the more important thing.
So this goddess through Julie is plucking this creature's things so they can talk. It's the strings of its creation. The Weaver is asking the creature what it wants to be. Whether it wants to be whole, whether it wants to return to what it was before something made it into this, whether it wants to continue existing in this basic state.
And it looks up as Julie, you pluck at it, and you hear that voice again, and this time everyone can hear it, even though it speaks in this alien language, and it says, "I just wish to exist."
The Weaver prods more. As you are? Or as
This
you
is
were?
This is all I know.
And you
I
wish to
only
save
know
us.
this world.
Very well. and the Weaver begins rewriting and restringing it,
And
replacing the green thread with purple.
yeah, I was actually planning for this. As Julie, you start channeling the Weaver, you both realize that much like the things that the Weaver has woven and unwoven, these things are created by weaving the strands of reality broken down in the caustic fluids of death within these cauldrons and rewoven, reconstructed into the shape that suit them. What they were is gone. It has been broken down into the basis components and remade into the shape it is. What was once there, you realize you can't pull it back. But what is this? This is a creature of its own right, down to the will of the cauldron and the creature that commands the cauldron. But with the Weaver, you sever these strings of control, and yeah, you replace these squirming, writhing green threads and replace them with the purple of this reality. But it was already a creature of this reality, formed of the flesh of people born here.
And the big thing about the Weaver, is that choice matters to her, the choice of her creations. She is not going to be like the supreme authority and bend this thing into something that she desires. She's merely going to try to modify it so that it can exist in harmony with this world.
And that's the thing. As is, without this control that the necromancer and the cauldron exert over it, it is something of this world. It is made of this world, just like you've seen the gourmand take flesh to make itself a new body. This thing was made of this reality, and now you have severed that control.
All right, Julie's eyes stop glowing purple. She shakes her head and is like, okay, well, did our best.
And it like skitters back like a step, and it just like shakes its head and just like looks down at itself, sees no change, just like looks around, just looking around, and just you actually see it as if it's like looking past the door or the walls of this building, and it just doesn't seem to see anything or hear anything. And it just like kind of sits back, just kind of like a not collapsing, but just like a more relaxed, just and it just kind of absentmindedly reaches over, grabs a big piece of jerky, and just starts chewing on it as it's like looking around.
Can't hear the choir anymore, right?
And it shakes its head.
Would you like to stay with us?
And it gives it like look this time it like focuses on you, and after a moment it just shrugs. And
We can bring you somewhere safe. Once this is all over, we'll bring you somewhere safe where you can think.
And it just kind of like keeps eating the jerky as it's just like
Food.
seems to be who's echoing? Zoe.
Huh?
I'm hearing myself echo through your input or something. But
hold on.
Oops. Hello.
Thing?
Okay, that's better.
Okay.
So yeah, it's just kind of seems confused on what to do next as it's just sitting there, just continuing to chow down on this jerky for lack of a better idea to do. So yeah.
We have other things like you and like me that we've helped. And back home in Melody, I'm sure we can find a place where you can live safely. Like, obviously, you gotta stay away from some things because it's dangerous for you and for them, but
Some things,
No.
like something about 20 feet back.
yeah. Though he hasn't turned around yet. You don't have to hurt anybody. We can help you get. We can help you get food without you having to, she motions like clawing.
And it looks at its claws like, and you just get that vibe. It's like, but I'm good at it.
I mean, yeah, but we can find, we can.
It
You
doesn't
can do
actually
that if
say
you
that.
want.
But that's kind of like it looks at its
vibe.
hand and then looks at you like almost incredulously.
I was born
Okay.
with these claws, and I am good with them. How dare you,
Not
good
s-
madam?
Not saying you don't have to, but there are there's wild animals that you can hunt to eat if you're hungry. But like I'm saying, you don't have to if you don't want to. You have that choice now.
No more bowling, people. I like the more people.
She finally stands up. Yeah. She turns around. I can't. It worked, and she freezes. When she sees the hunter. Her eyes.
Silent.
Her eyes narrow, and she like shuffles slightly in front of the Talon, in between the Talon and the Hunter. Hunter?
I retrieved the Needle Sister as requested.
That was you?
Little sister.
I love that name, by the way. Still. Why did you listen?
He does not say. And it's quite possible he doesn't know either.
Well, have you ever seen a Talon be freed?
Nope, this wasn't something that happened the last time.
No.
Well, see, good can come out of even something like this. The Talon is its own thing. The Talon has a chance to be what it wants to be. And I'll take responsibility for that.
You turn gesture to it and it's gone.
Well, fuck no!
And then when you say that, it pops its head back out, and you see in its arm it just has a cluster of the jerky.
Oh, okay. Oh God, I thought you ran
Julie,
away from it.
if you look into the room, it is clearly a break room for the place, and it has smashed the glass of a vending machine.
Fuck yeah!
There for the
Yeah.
people there.
Is it okay if I come into your room? I won't take your jerky, but is it alright?
Oh no, it looked like it was gathering it up and was trying to follow you.
Oh,
You see, there's the fridge has been opened, and there's some if you look inside the room, the fridge has been opened. Pretty bad smell.
Julie mimes wiping away in tears, says, "A little kid already shoplifting."
I guess it wouldn't be smelling that bad. Power's still on, so the fridge is open, but you see some food scattered. It looks like food from whoever worked here brought it in for lunch. Yeah, and some of them are pried open, probably some leftover meat and stuff. But
so he looks at the food's we can't let Celia in here.
What kind of food is still in the fridge? Because it probably could beat the No offense,
There's
Hal.
some.
The shitty soup.
That's all that Hal thought was here, so, you know.
I mean, well, this isn't the observatory. The observatory.
Yeah, we know.
Um.
Yeah, the point where that was all
yeah,
Hal
this
had
is
to make.
just. Oh, there's like some sodas. You know, there's some like drinks people had. You know, a couple bottles of water.
Okay.
You know, whatever you basically find in like a break room fridge.
Okay. So he's gonna go in then, because that was a good idea, and gather up some stuff. Anything edible. She'll like sniff it, make sure it smells alright.
Yeah,
No,
some
she's
of the
not gonna
stuff
grab.
might be.
She's not gonna grab any of the stuff that's been picked through.
Yeah.
But
You find like a big pile of like fried rice where it looks like they pulled out like the egg and the meat.
okay, this one should be alright. Is there
And
anything?
yeah, the vending
Is it-
machine's
so
just
is he-
flashed open if people want chips or snacks.
Is the Talon not being as skittish?
It seems a little more comfortable because it did have that experience with the Weaver, so it does.
So he like
It
has
does
the
seem
stuff
more
all up in her
comfortable, but
arms.
still a little cautious.
That's fair.
It
You
is.
like crouch in front of it. Well, how tall is the Talon?
Like, when you see it stand up all the way, it is about 6'4". That
Okay.
is even with a little bit of a slouch. These things are tall but kind of slender. They're more for speed. That you saw
Okay.
the stingers. They are shorter but more bulkier built because they have heavier armor.
This one is, talons are like practically skin and bone.
Yeah, they're like compare
Very
a like
gaunt.
mountain lion. Yeah, they're more like a mountain lion build comparison, or more like a mantis, I guess.
Oh.
But
So
Oh,
he's about
you're-
to.
okay.
So he's gonna kind of like stand in front of the Talon as close to as it'll let her. So
You will notice that it keeps like it doesn't have eyes. You just see it like occasionally like looks over in Kaiko's direction. Just always seems to be tracking where she's at.
yeah, she won't let it hurt you, right, Kaiko?
Oh, I have no intention to hurt it.
No, she said you won't. That Kaiko won't let the fire hurt it.
Kaiko holds up the salt.
You hear like a.
Sassy fire.
You hear it say, "You're lucky you've been feeding me well. I'll pass for now." So
She does like side eye the hunter, see what he's still doing.
Hey guys, what's up? Where's the food? The
Oh,
incredibly sleepy
Celia?
Celia wanders in.
Celia, don't
What's-
freak out.
Where's the food?
Celia?
you see
Where-
a Talon just standing right behind, like kind of looming over Zoe, just armful of jerky bags.
I have one of those.
And it like bends down, bites one, and just like tosses it at you with its teeth because it's only has the one arm.
All I could imagine was Celia walking into the room and the fucking Talon has its head in a bag. It's chewing noisily, spots her, stops chewing,
tosses her a bag.
and then chewing.
Celia just opens it and starts munching it, still clearly mostly asleep.
Does Celia catch the bag with her mouth?
Yes.
All right.
SeaWorld catch.
Something about this scene seems weird.
We'll explain it when you're awake.
She
Just don't
blinks.
freak out.
Then she blinks herself awake.
Don't
Is
freak out. This is one of the Talons.
How long was I asleep?
Like 20 minutes at most.
What have you been doing?
She looks to the Talon. Well, with Julie's help, we free the Talon.
Free a Talon without me?
I walked in here and saw him, and I didn't want to risk scaring him away.
To be fair, he seemed really freaked out just to have 4 people. I feel like more would have just made it worse.
Yeah. Do you
That's all right.
have,
He's a shoplifter now.
We have teaching to do. She turns back to the Talon. Do you have a name that you'd like us to try?
And you're gonna need some
Or-
baggy, oversized pants.
You ask him, it
pronouns?
hasn't. It just stares at you with no eyes.
Oh yeah. She puts her hand on herself. Zoe points to Julie. Julie. Kaiko. Hi. Hunter.
He is
Celia.
radiating menace.
I thought his name was Benedict.
Right now, he's the hunter.
Right.
And when you're introducing each person, it like followed who you're pointing to. So
You understand?
you assume it has like some kind of thermal or electrosensitive like response, but it does seem capable of perceiving.
Okay. And she points to the Talon.
And yeah, just like it looks over at Benedict, and there's like just that instinctual just sense of menace as it, like the head pulls back just slightly.
She
From
shoots
this
she
tiny
shoots
robot.
Hunter a glare.
Like standing upright, this robot's much shorter than him, but it's just like,
What?
oh, that's an intense little dude.
Shoots the Hunter a glare. Be nice.
He hasn't done anything. He's just
Yeah,
standing
he's
there,
radiating menace to this thing.
menacingly.
Exactly.
Just
by
standing
not
there,
doing
menacingly.
anything, he knows exactly what he's doing.
So, while this has been going on, and Celia went back, Hal and Suki, I think you're out with Phineas.
Yeah.
Yes.
Get those who was all still out there? Yeah. And he's just like, well, hope they're okay back there.
The lack of screaming and sounds of violence is usually a good indicator that it's going well.
Fair. That's what I'm hoping.
Usually,
like-
when that kind of shit happens, some sort of monster is broken into the place, and we want to help it instead of, tossing it out a window. So, I'm guessing it's going well.
And he's like, I mean, as a monstrous person myself, I appreciate that kind of thought, but this is a little intense.
They should be fine. There's
And
no
he's
screaming or blood,
Yeah.
so...
Okay. Probably looking for food. And then he looks over at Suki and goes, how's the big guy?
The big guy.
The worm.
Oh, and pulls out the tiny cocoon from the pocket. It's like,
Oh,
he's
worm.
doing okay. Yeah, I
Oh,
picked
worm.
up. Oh, worm. He seems to be doing okay. He hasn't moved a bit, but I don't think chrysalises move while they're in goop form.
Yeah, and it's like tucked between this little Y-shaped twig. It's a tiny little chrysalis. Probably no
form.
bigger than your
I would
thumb,
think it's
think.
closer to bone broth.
I mean, probably consistency is wise, but caterpillars melt themselves down into primordial goo before they become butterflies. There's not like
I was just making
it's
a pun.
it's
okay.
bone
actually
broth.
very interesting. Very interesting because they completely melt down. There's nothing solid in them. Their brains and
The
everything break down,
process,
and
the
yet
process
they
of it.
still seem to have their memories from when they were a larval form.
Yeah, the
Fascinating.
process of transformation heavily involves decay.
Huh.
Yep.
So... Yeah,
He seems to be doing fine. I'm gonna go take a nap in a minute, but first I'm gonna go steal a journal. You want to help?
Oh yeah, sure. It's been a while since I've committed larceny.
Excellent.
break
Kyle, you want to
anatomy.
help?
Sure, I guess, I've already been breaking the law technically, but nobody's caught me yet.
What?
Valid.
Really, what you
The
you
entire
been doing?
the entirety of our existence, Zoe.
She's not here.
I know, but you're asking.
And Phineas is like asking as he like stands up and he's like, "What do you mean?" He seems
Well-
obviously interested. Like, oh, you do crime?
Oh, crap.
Yeah. I hunt cults, so this is like Tuesday for me.
You know who Cliff Howard is?
No, but he sounds like an asshole.
Yeah, we might have framed him for having a lot of drugs in his private boat because he was a dick.
We didn't
That's-
frame him for that. He just did.
I mean, we
Yeah.
gave the evidence to somebody and put more on his boat than he had. That's
Isn't he-
technically
it was a co-
framing him. Technically, we committed a crime when we did that.
The cocaine was his.
What's all this
from the
wee shit? I
beginning.
wasn't here for that one.
The cocaine
We're
was
not
his,
here.
though.
We're not here. We're in the other
Yeah.
room.
I'm going down for the crimes I actually committed. Oh, wait, shit.
The cocaine is technically his, but it was not on his boat, so we technically framed him.
Oh yeah, that's right. It was taken from his like hotel room, I think. Right?
Yes, so
His truck,
technically,
his car.
in the technical sense, it was his, yes, and he was already committing a crime, but so did we.
I mean, like, it's one thing for me to be murdering people out here, but drug smuggling? Wouldn't have pinned that on you.
Well, we're the good guys, so it's okay.
And Phineas goes, "I used to help bootleggers back during Prohibition. That was some fun time."
Also, I'm not there, but we also stole all of his equipment out of his car.
Yeah.
He's also telling him that. He's like, yeah, and we stole all of his stuff. We slashed his tires. Basically just made his life a living hell. I mean, he deserved it because he's a dick.
I mean, he was a baby kidnapper.
So, you know,
Yeah.
And Phineas is like, "All right, that's like I'm impressed."
That was all before me. I have no idea what any of that's about.
So we're just going to ignore the fact that Hal, at a much younger age, has also committed arson.
you have been so far.
Hey, it was Big Bell. It doesn't count.
Yeah.
Breaking the
Um,
law is in his DNA.
No, so Suki's going to start scouring the exhibits for the journal that was mentioned that may have been from the
Okay,
inventor.
you probably remember. I'll just say you do remember that the worker. I can't remember what I said her name was, but she said that it was that they had it in a vault because it was a fragile, a piece of historical document that was already deteriorating. But so yeah, so you would be looking for a vault,
So,
and actually you would pass through the exhibits because you'd have to pass through the exhibit area, and you would find the door leading back towards where they would, handle that kind of stuff. And passing through the exhibits, I'll just do a quick little run through as you just pass by. You see like a wall that's dedicated, like diorama dedicated to the first settlers, the first Fiddler's Green that was then wiped out in a landfill, or not a landfill, a landslide during a heavy storm. But then the town was rebuilt further down along the banks of the river, leading to modern day Fiddler's Green. And then you see other exhibits about, local cryptids. You see some about the Sasquatch. They only thought there was one. Then you see like an exhibit for the Hellkite. You see little things about the grave worm story and other fearsome cryptids of the old settler time. And you pass by this one big exhibit where it's like machinery, like it looks like forestry machinery, but Mad Maxy. These things don't look practical, and they look like you ride around. There's like giant saw blades in front that look like they would just clear cut trees and like just driving. You see something that almost looks like a whirligig with like axes attached to it, and but just like these gimmicky things, and you see the little placard that says "Creations of the Mad Tinker Lumberjack," and yeah, and then you find this door leading to the back, but it is currently locked.
Currently locked. Okay.
Well,
You think anybody's
Do we
gonna be
wanna-
mad if we're not completely subtle about breaking into this door?
I would say I'd be concerned about us alerting attention to fellas outside, but simultaneously the sun's coming up.
You hear clap, 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 boom, as Phineas gets running, and then just kicks down the door, and just like kicks it open, and like you see the door frame splinter, and it just swings up, and he goes, "Oh, that was a shitty door." Great, door's open.
Guessing the answer was
I
no.
like your style.
Because normally I would headbutt it, and he like kind of winces as he like again reaches up and touches the broken horn.
Yeah, I got a key about size 24.
I mean, if it works, it works.
I mean, I don't think they're going to particularly care. I have a feeling by the time it matters, everyone's going to be amnesticized or whatever you call it.
And the other part of the museum, in the break room, you just hear this thud, this dull thud from somewhere in the building.
The rest of you. Alright, so...
You know what? Not my circus, not my monkeys.
And stepping through the room looks like a quaint little lab kind of looking area. Not really much of a lab. It looks like it might be partially used for like veterinary from some of the looks of it. And you do see like in one area there's like a half completed there's like some or partially completed taxidermy projects. It looks like they make them in the place. There's like a beaver and like a goose that's half, the feathers are halfway put in. And then in the back you do see a big, heavy, almost like freezer type door that says sensitive materials.
That's easy. They labeled it for us.
I mean, to be fair, they did say a safe, and this is the biggest thing in the room that resembles a safe. Do we want to...
There's like a few other doors, but like you look at them and it looks like they lead to back hallways.
Oh.
Not the back rooms, just like the other hallways for the building.
Man, that would be a melody session.
Do I see anything around here that looks like it would open this door, like in this office?
Do an investigative mystery.
Okay.
I'll roll one as well.
Yeah.
I don't remember if I'm any good at that. Let me look. Google.
I guess it would just be sheriff. So yeah, just do a sheriff to look around since you're looking. There's not really a mystery here to investigate, but yeah.
It's not fantastic, but it's not bad.
Okay.
I got an 8.
Okay. I'll just say 2 partial successes. Yeah, it takes a bit, and you do find that you see the door there is like a keyed lock, and it takes a while, but you do find them inside one of the drawers for this like desk area. And yeah, you open it up, and there's the little pressurized hiss, and it's kind of like a safety deposit box room from a bank, in that there's just like blank room and then like cabinets that you can't see into, and they've got like labeling that you're not really sure what they mean, because they're not like blatant labelings like the door was. But
Well, I guess,
Start looking for an old decrepit journal.
yeah,
looking.
so I'll say you start pulling up with things, and there's like a lot of it is like preserved specimens of local species that some of them extinct, some of them endangered. or just unique ones. You actually do see in one of them there is a furred trout, but
There's the quiet
it's
snap of a.
it's very desiccated and it's not very well preserved, but it is no doubt like it is a legit furred trout, but it's just been forgotten in this old woodsy town. But
Snaps.
so while you're looking through it, rest of the group, if you heard that thump, you could go. Oh yeah, Zoe. While you're gone, Phineas kicked down the door to the back lab area. So like the rest of the group, you heard like something being a heavy thud, like further in the building, and so like if anyone wanted to react to that, that's okay.
Okay.
But
I'll go check it out.
Yeah, does someone go with Tycho?
The hunter will do so.
Good riddance.
well, harsh.
He
And,
doesn't say it out loud.
I know. But so yeah, as Hal and Suki are looking around, Phineas is also helping, but Kaiko and
Did you
Okay,
find
go
another
back.
one, or you're looting?
yeah, you open up this door that says not. It just says basically like lab, and you open it up and you see them. A door, big heavy door open, and they're inside pulling open cupboards or cabinets.
We're looking for a book.
You walk in as Hal is stealing this fucking trout, by the way.
Yeah, that'd be perfect in the wax museum. For sure, Oren take a bit better care of it though.
Didn't Oren? I can't remember if Oren said that if you go to different places to like different places like this or the wax museum to like do recon. So this is literally like corporate espionage. No, tourist espionage.
No, this is a salvage operation.
They clearly left it in here and didn't, remember it existed, because this is kind of big news. I would display this shit.
Oren doesn't spy on his fellow tourist trap workers. They're something of a community, even though they're in competition with each other.
He wants to
Except
trade
for the
notes.
mystery spot.
Because like a lot of real life tourist traps, often in one you'll find advertisements for the others.
That's true.
Because all of them do sort of help each other get business. Your goal is to get people to want to stop on the road, and if they have more places to stop, they're more likely to visit different places.
Oh, the only time a Kaiko committed corporate espionage was a mystery spot. I think every curio shop hates the mystery spot.
Yeah, no one likes the mystery spot because
Mystery
mystery spot's a
spot
great
is
big
the
fucking
scam.
corporation.
That was not corporate espionage. That was corporate demolition.
Hey, it did it to itself.
But yeah, Hal, you saw it was like labeled like 1907 or something. It's been there for a while.
I think this has been in here since 1907, so into the bag it goes.
It's 1907.
Also, Julie rewrote one of them. Kaiko says nonchalantly.
Nice.
Yeah, I'm a bad bitch that way.
What?
What kind?
Wait, Julie
I think
came
it's
too? I thought only Kaiko and Benedict went.
Oh shit, I keep forgetting I'm not in the scene.
Hal just very casually,
I mean, you could have followed.
still rifling through things in the drawers. What kind?
Talon?
Okay. That makes
And
sense.
Phineas like looks up, and he's like, "Okay, a little more elaboration, please. Did you say rewrote a Talon? One of the undead things that are like eating the town?"
Yeah, Julie's hand, that thing.
Yeah.
She can kind of, like, use God to reach into their essence and change them. I don't know, it's weird.
It's like a weaver, it's like being baptized by the weaver or something. I don't know.
Like if I hadn't been like around it for a while, like on a face value, the ability to change someone's core innards like that's a little fucked up.
Yeah.
But
Well, in this
simultaneously,
Well, in this case, apparently this one was already discarded and attacked by the other Talons for being weak or something, and discarded.
Hmm.
we're trying to find that crazy inventor's journal for Benedict.
I
when he
would
gets
say
back from
things to defend myself, but I'm not here.
And Phineas is just like, oh shit, I wonder if Joe's seen them ever tussling. And then they're like, oh fuck, I think I found it. And they open up a cabinet and there's like a little exhibit label as they pull out this like, it's kind of like a morgue slide where you pull, it's a tray slides out with the thing, and it's labeled Tinker's Case and Journal, and it says delicate. And you see in this little like plexiglass or like this glass case, to seal, to keep it safe, you see a tattered, partially burned, torn journal, bound books, and there's a partial cover there. It looks like it was recovered from it, and it's like leather bound, and it's got this really gorgeous gold. It looks like gold embossing at one point, and there's like a few words in Arabic on it, but they're all so tattered that even if anyone could read Arabic, you're not sure if you can translate it. But next to it is this dark wood, wooden case that looks like it would have had a bunch of drawers and stuff, smaller drawers, and it looks like it would open up, but all this is missing pieces, it's scuffed with age, and both of these look like they've seen a hard time. And Idiot's just kind of like, I think this is it. That's not even luck. As he like lifts up the glass case, it's like they didn't even secure it. What are they thinking? As he just like turns around to put it off to the side.
Yep, that looks like it'd be it.
Well, found that and some other things that I'm not going to reveal that I have. Is there anything else in here that might give us a clue on, what might be, history of the town and such? That isn't out that isn't out in the exhibits or anything.
Can Kaika roll a sharp check because you know the shit?
Sure.
4, 5, 3, so that's
I know
10?
museums, they don't always put the juicy
Right.
stuff
4
out.
plus 5 plus 3, so that's
Right.
12, I think.
Yeah. So yeah, actually, Zoe had that book from Orem, and Keiko, you probably looked at it on the write up. So, yeah, it's Filler's Green. What were you wanting to know, Hal?
Just in general things, basically.
Okay,
He's curious about if there's anything that isn't out in the public that might be interesting to the things that we know of.
Between Oren, working with Oren for so long, and then just like Heiko, your deep dive into local history around Melody. Fiddler's Green was founded by initially settled by a crew of former sailors who after their captain died, they sold their ship and used that money to travel inland and decided to get into lumber because they're like, we always try to repair ships, always need lumber, it's a good thing. So they traveled and named Fiddler's Green after the mythical afterlife where all sailors go where, as Benedict said when he first arrived, if Benedict would be so kind,
Down in Fiddler's Green with the dead men sing.
Fiddler's Green was the paradise of all sailors who managed to survive at sea, and they founded the town. There was the tragedy where the first time the town was swept away in a mudslide, but then it was rebuilt, probably a little better down here, and it's for the long time it's been like the picture of a lumberjack, fearsome critters, heavy cryptid town, just very isolated off the normal paths of the world. There's nothing like no mention of like a previous incursion, if that's like what you're looking for, but it's actually Melis, like in her writing of the previous encounter and talking about the Tinker, Ismail, and the Hunter persona. It wasn't Fiddler's Green that it showed up in. It was another town that is no longer exists. It was wiped out with the reconstructed outbreak. But it seems that Ismail lived here in Fiddler's Green for some time. And actually, through this, you would actually know that there's actually... Ismail is believed to be one of the founding settlers of Fiddler's Green and was the first one who designed the first lumber mills.
Okay.
And also the one who designed those monstrosities out in the exhibit room. But those are just reconstructions. Not literal reconstructions, but just like... You know what I mean? They're just props.
Props.
They don't work.
Probably.
Speaking as someone who has seen like lumber and sailing history, like some of the tools they invented to cut down some of those giant logs are absurd and slightly terrifying to imagine in action.
Mm-hmm.
Alright, that history isn't exactly cheerful or anything, but...
Sorry if it wasn't, as the DM or keeper, sorry if that wasn't very helpful.
No, that's fine.
Oh,
That's what I was looking for.
Yeah.
That's what I was after. So,
Okay.
There were no incursions in Fiddler's Green itself, but there was another town that got wiped out. So...
And Phineas, he goes, okay, I was just thinking about this when your friend, Julie, when you had your dream and you popped up shouting. One thing that I've noticed, and I was kind of like, it was kind of a good thing for us, sneaking through the woods, but where's all the fucking ghosts? These woods were just chock full of them, a month ago. They're gone. Now that I think about it, they're just gone.
Okay.
Do reconstructed eat ghosts?
Yep. Benedict, do reconstructed eat ghosts?
Who does in this day and age?
Roll past lives.
Yeah.
That's a fun roll.
So if they eat ghosts, that's real fucked up. They're already dead, that's mean.
That is mean.
That is a 2.
Oh no!
Oh, what happens on a missed past life takes over for a while. Well, you're already taking over, so... Alright, Betty shows up.
Oh, God.
No. I'm gonna say, you get a mulligan on that one.
You're already taken over, you just glitched for a second.
It's like...
Let the hunter refuse.
No, Betty just pops in. Buy crypto, suckers! It just pops out. What
No,
happens?
he hates crypto.
He should hate crypto.
He did
I don't
a
know, I
whole
was
ass
quoting Bill
advertisement,
Cipher there for some
fucking
reason.
shooting down NFTs.
That's true.
He's a snake
But,
oil salesman, but not a piece of shit.
Do another roll, just because.
You know what? I'll say I'll take
plot
the low roll
reasons.
and say that he, because he did accompany Kaiko. At first, he was kind of reluctant to leave Zoe with the Talon, but clearly Zoe doesn't want him to be there, and he does want to investigate the other noise. Now he's standing in the doorway of the room, and once you take out the journal and set it aside, he kind of laser focuses on it and slowly just kind of walks toward it, and when you ask him that question, it's kind of just washes over him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, you go up to this book and you run your hand over this tattered cover, and it's just, that sensory flashback. You see this book fully intact, carrying it over to Ismail as he's working at a desk, as this case is spread open, and there's just layers after layers of tools and intricate parts, and this is a crafter's master piece, or the tools of a master craftsman. And you reach out and your hands just you start flicking hidden switches on this case. Some of them work, some of them are broken. The case spreads open. It's kind of like Toy Story 2 when the repair guy starts working on Woody. It's kind of like that kind of case where it just unfolds and there's all these parts, these small rusted pieces that were, just these and springs, and there's a, and there's some of them have there's a broken, it might have been a screwdriver type device, but it's bent and there's a little tag on it, and some of the bigger pieces have tags labeling them, but it's this case that you remember vividly because this is what was used to repair you after you were found.
Since it's been a while since I've mentioned it, but Benedict does have those touchpads, so he does actually register the touch of old leather underneath his hands. And I would suppose if he has the robotic equivalent of a shiver as he remembers all that.
Yeah, there's that song that you've been playing. There's a hitch, like a vibrato that goes through it for a second.
Hal will kind of notice this as Benedict doesn't respond, and he just goes over and goes, Benedict? Just kind of pats him on the back really softly. Benedict?
This belonged to Ishmael.
Yeah, I bet whoever runs this museum would shit themselves to see it open, but, buddy, are you alright?
That's
up to you.
Yeah. He does not say, but he would like to open the book very carefully, very gingerly.
Yeah.
As
And,
if meeting an old friend again.
Yeah, and a lot of it is destroyed, unfortunately. It is tattered, and there's burns, and but you see diagrams that are familiar. You see a handwriting that you haven't seen in over a century at least, and there's you start flipping, and then you very carefully flip the book over to get to the later pages, and it looks like the back part was there were other pages that were torn off, but then as you flip through some of the more what would have been the more recent pages, there is, plain as day, you flip one over, a diagram of you. It is a sketch of you, down and with notes and little diagrams of internal mechanisms, and then there's there's one little doodle of your biscuit, and there's just like you don't know I don't know. Actually, Benedict, you would know Arabic.
In this persona, yes.
Yeah, the hunter would know Arabic from this, and there's just like basically the equivalent of just like a line of question marks, like what?
Well,
You know,
bagels
it's
are
just like
profoundly British. Of course, it confounded him.
but yeah, and yeah, this is without a doubt the journal of Ismail.
Anything noteworthy about the diagram breakdown? I assume it's kind of like a Leonardo's, no, Da Vinci's, like the
Sort of,
man.
yeah. The book has a lot of the vibe of like Leonardo's, notebooks, where it's just like pages where there's like it looks like they were like partial journal entries. Other ones there's just like diagrams. There's just like a funny little doodle they did. But you actually see on the diagram, one of the like a page after that, you see the diagram for your flamethrower, or at least a partial diagram.
Yeah.
Julie.
Oh, go ahead.
Yes.
Wait, Julie's not here. Damn it.
Yeah.
Damn it, you turned it around. Okay. So, yeah. Cool. Item got. You have the journal and the case if you so wish to pick it up. The case would be like a tackle box carrying size case, but it is looks pretty fragile.
Well, after this quick perusal, he is going to very delicately shut the book. And
actually, there is a slot specifically in the case to hold that. You remember distinctly that on how to open it, and that little compartment is intact. It was partially hidden because what is the thing that an engineer never wants others to find is notes and diagrams and plans.
I'm actually going to say, instinctually, he remembers there seems to be a lock on this case, and like the very tip of his finger, like swivels open, and like there's a very unique shaped key that fits perfectly into it to unlock the storage space for the book.
And when you do that, the storage space, there's like a puff of stale air, and it almost looks like it was pressurized. As you reach in and pull out a neatly folded piece of paper that looks like it is about as old as this thing, but it has somehow survived in this most precious of compartments.
He's going to pick up the piece of paper as delicately as he can, and he's going to.
It is in remarkable shape, and like you unfold it, it doesn't tear or anything. Whatever this container was, it was very well pressurized, almost pressurized and contained. But when you open it, it is in Arabic, an older dialect, and the only part that you read, it goes, my dear poor Benedict, I am sorry. And then the rest of it is in a cipher.
Yeah, with the paper in hand, he places the book into the compartment, places the paper on top, shuts it, and he takes the case with him.
Think that'll fit in your chest section there, Benedict?
It's a little bit too big. The book would, but
yeah, he's just carrying it in his hands. It appears I have some reading to do.
Yep. That's why I went to go look for it, because I knew otherwise you might get a little focused on this and forget it. And I'm not sure we're going to be able to come back to Fiddler's Green after what we've done here, so wanted to make sure you got your hands on it.
From I will say that Kaiko, you would know that this vault is very specifically designed to withstand, building fires. So, depending on what may or may not happen to Fiddler's Green in the future, what is in here has a good chance, if it's locked up again, to survive.
Whatever happens, well, yeah. This Vulcan can survive fires. That's what it was built for.
Let's make sure to shut the door, just so there's something left. But, Benedict, are you back with me?
Looks you in the eye.
I need you to answer this very important question for me, okay?
Speak.
Do the reconstructed eat ghosts? This is very important to me that I know this.
Okay. I mulliganed.
Yep, roll again.
Yep, and I got a even 10.
Hey.
I will message you this because I like when Benedict delivers ominous words.
The others have instructed me to eat you. Mm-hmm.
Okay, that's it.
So, what was your question again, Hal?
Do the reconstructed eat ghosts?
The reconstructed do not. The necromancer, however.
Fuck.
Oh, good.
Fuck.
Well, there's an answer I didn't want, but I needed. Okay, thank you, Benedict.
And yeah, Phineas is just like, oh, fuck that. And he like kind of looks sad. He goes, a lot of those ghosts were assholes, but some of them weren't bad people. They were just stuck.
Fuck.
And
I hate it.
We're gonna go kill the necromancer anyway, or, at least punch him in the face. So, revenge for beyond the grave? We're gonna call it that? Everybody, right?
Sure.
the living and the dead.
Guess so.
So, I will say that you pretty much got all that you can from this vault, unless I, improvise something else later on. But yeah, you have the case and the journal in hand, Benedict.
Mm-hmm.
By this point, the group
Oh.
would probably be getting pretty tired.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah, so-
Kai was about to sleep, but then someone...
Someone found a fucking talon in the building, yeah.
Found a fucking talent in here. Oh, new friend.
Alright.
You put a chance to save a monster in front of Zoe's face. There's no way in hell she was going to not do that.
I mean, it's like I did it on purpose.
I know.
I
I know when I've been played.
I mean, hey, you got me to do Rustbeard with the daylight spell to walk into the sunlight activated goo monster.
I know when you've been played.
So, okay. Celia and Zoe, you've been raiding the break room with the Talon.
Yes.
Yeah. Is there anything you want us to, like, is there anything we can call you that you're comfortable with?
And there's just like a shrug. It does seem to understand you since
Yeah.
you're able to communicate with monsters, and so would you, Celia.
Okay, pronouns. He, she, they.
It's also valid.
It is also valid.
And they like, it's not like they don't understand as they look at you both, and then it's just like, they give a slower, like, uncertain shrug, and there's this thing of like, this isn't a concept they've really had to think about before this, so they may need a little bit of time.
That's right. Yeah. You have all the time that you've got. You're good. She reaches over to pat on the shoulder. Does it let her?
Yeah, they're. Sorry, I was reading something. It does seem more comfortable with you, Zoe, and Julie, but it's still like, it's not like tense around you, Celia, but it does seem like sidles closer to Zoe than everyone else when the room was a little more crowded.
Oh.
And it doesn't pull away. It just kind of like looks at your
Yeah.
hand. Maybe the gesture lost on it, but it doesn't seem to object.
Okay. I can't
For
believe it works,
all
Celia.
intents and purposes, this thing is only a few days old.
Yeah.
His baby.
He is baby. They are baby. I'm amazed this worked, Celia.
Why? Done it before.
Yeah, but like this trip has been a lot, and like for a second, like her face just like goes really distant.
You forgot all the good things you're capable of again, didn't you?
I wouldn't even say that. I started questioning if trying was even worth it anymore.
So, yes, then.
Yes. No, this isn't without consequence because we gotta help this guy learn and see what makes them happy. But
How is
No,
that a bad consequence?
I didn't say bad consequences. I said consequences, not bad ones. Because I want to help them. I want to help them live their life. See what that's like.
It took a few tries, but you finally managed to.
I helped somebody in this godforsaken town.
You saved someone.
I saved someone. She smiles at the town.
It doesn't exactly have lips, but always has this weird like rictus-looking smile, just because it's all teeth.
Yeah. Hey, let's go bring this to the others and introduce them to you. He goes into the other room. Where's everybody?
So I'll say that after a moment, everyone reconvenes. That's
Zoe chilling with a Talon.
Yeah, looking for church to the thing, and Celia and Zoe are there, and yeah, there's just a Talon, just kind of perched on the ground, just perched there, just calmly eating handfuls of jerky.
Oh, hey guys.
Hi.
Phineas was walking in, probably talking to someone, and then just sees it, and just instinctively freezes for a moment and tenses as it's he reaches towards his knife, but
No.
and the Talon did catch on to that bit of a spike of aggression in the air, but Phineas looks and then just slowly relaxes, okay.
I mean, Kaiko did say it was rewritten.
Yeah,
but
and he
still, this thing has been hounding him for months. A week.
Yeah.
Benedict doesn't know what that.
like-
Not Benedict. Phineas doesn't know what that means.
Julie was able to reach into the strings and I guess pluck out the ones from the necromancer.
She cut the red wire.
Yeah, she cut the red wire.
I thought these were green.
Yeah, and actually, they would have dropped away, looking like green worms snipped away when Julie was doing this, or the Weaver was doing this. Zoe, you would have been the one to see this. Zoe.
Oh, wait, so I would have actually fucking seen the wires of reality?
Of whatever reality that this necromancer
God.
comes from, and wove his will into the reconstructed.
Oh,
They arrived like the worms you saw when Hal ripped out of Ben's skull.
Yeah.
But these things, then like they just fried before just like. You didn't see it, but it's the very similar way to when Orenberg crumbled the Weaver's thread when Isaac tried to jinx him. And they just crumble.
Okay.
That's
Celia,
what
when Celia says cut the blue wire, it's Zoe who says more like green wire. The
Really, you
the
did say that
strands,
too.
Horrendous.
the strands that were attached to them were green. I like the worms. Hal, you remember those?
Yeah, I remember those. They were in my hand.
Yeah. So they're they're free now. They get to decide what they are.
Well, Zoe, I'm gonna be very honest with you. If it doesn't decide to share that food, I might get violent.
Okay, so we carried the food out to share.
Yeah, there's like a. Sorry, I was eating my cookie. There's like a little table that you could pull over, and yeah, there's food and drinks from the vending machine and the break room fridge.
Yeah, Zoe and Celia carried out a bunch of stuff while the Talon carried out beef jerky. Want jerky or
Anything that isn't that horrible soup that I
Hey,
had to make.
Hey, friend, could you toss Hal one of those jerky bags?
It like looks down at the pile of jerky bags I brought with it.
Oh, why?
Hesitates before pushing it over.
Hey, thank you.
So what was that?
Was that
Here.
Lydia?
I'll ask.
Oh, what?
Celia's talking to somebody who's not currently in the conversation.
You all hear the sound of someone munching on potato chips as Julie walks into the scene, because she's bored.
You missed the stealing.
Well, I did some stealing myself.
Yeah,
Where
this
these
is
chips
all
came
shit
from.
from like vending machines.
Also, she just stole an entire being from another reality.
Just looks
Like
at the
boss.
reconstructed, looks at Julie. Valid. To eat fingers.
Zoe cocks an
Talon
eyebrow.
If you actually said valid 8 fingers, the Talon perks up.
Now we don't eat fingers. So Zoe cocks an eyebrow at
We only eat Suki's fingers.
No. I
Zoe
need
cocks
those.
an eyebrow at Suki as a thought strikes her. Have I ever taken a picture of Suki?
Yeah, at your birthday.
Yeah, but like,
And I
What,
think you also checked it. I think you also took one when you first met her just to see what was what.
Yeah,
Okay, I
you've
couldn't
taken
remember.
a picture before.
Honestly, I don't
don't-
remember if she has, because the first time
Yeah, I
that
don't-
we met, I was being chased by Big Mel, and that was a problem. And then the next time I got shot by Gun Jesus and nearly died.
Yeah, I don't know if I've taken a picture of Suki. Like, I know we've done a group picture, but like not like special camera.
I think
focused
you
on
did
Suki
because you
picture.
were so hyper. You were so antagonistic to Suki because she was a monster hunter. And you were
Yeah.
pretty sure you did that then during your.
Well, I don't remember, so Zoe snaps a picture of Suki. Like, do you
Don't
know
ask
what?
me
You
where
know
I
what?
picked up that
She
phrase.
snaps a picture of Suki in a rare moment when Suki doesn't look like she's going to stab somebody. She sees like Suki like just chatting and seeming like she's
Preparedness
like,
to stab is, I think, Suki's default state.
yeah, I know,
Yes.
but like seeing like Suki talking with people and like for a second it seems like she's less tense than she is at every other second of the day. So Zoe quickly snaps the picture. Hey God, what does the picture of Suki look like?
TT, that's not up to me.
Shit.
I could give it a swing if you want, Will.
Yeah, you can give it you can tell me what her particular shit is.
There is a very nice big red cloud with Suki's boots poking out of the bottom.
What the fuck? Come on!
And
God damn
it's
it.
roughly the size of like if someone was wearing like a cloud costume around her entire body, except for very clearly her boots and like a part of her calf.
I'm
gonna
just
add-
picturing like
I'm gonna
this
add one
particle
detail.
effect.
I can't
I'm gonna-
believe Suki got
I'm
jean
going to add
jacket.
one detail. If you look very closely at the cloud, you can faintly see music bars, the notation of music. Very faintly in gold written in the cloud.
Oh.
Old.
And this is, ironically enough, this is the first person, not counting the he who will become, who Zoe hasn't been able to get a clear picture of with her camera.
You know, it's funny. First time I saw her, I never noticed all the blood on her hands.
You were human
Right.
then, and you were recovering from the trauma of losing your legs.
Yeah, you guys are talking. So he's like in the background frowning, picks up her, is like looking at her camera lens while you two are talking, making sure it's okay.
Like to be valid, Celia, we're friends our friendship was forged through our mutual traumas.
Yeah.
They're just like tatting. Picks up the camera, like looks over at the hunter and snaps a picture of him.
The hunter at this point has sitting down on the all the gathered furniture I think we have for the sleeping area,
Yeah.
and he's got the box in his lap. He's opening it back up. So
There's
he's
like
not-
a little like side table you could pull over for it.
yeah, he's doing that. So you kind of just take a candid shot of him, and it
Yeah.
has been previously established that Benedict, through the camera lens, looks like Benedict. At pretty much it is what you get. With one exception. There is a, I've mentioned in the hunter has red eyes.
Yes.
That same color, that exact same shade of bloody red. There's a halo of light like behind his head,
Whoa.
and it like you viewing it through the camera lens, it is just smoldering all the time. That it's not a normal fire; it's this blood red.
It just is fucking hatred. Zoe's like face is like, with the second picture, she like looks at it like, oh, that's way better, and then she sees it and her face gets even more sour.
Everything
I
all right
haven't-
over there, man murderer?
What?
That's the thing. He's not putting on any intense mode. That's just him existing. That's my secret cap.
I'm always kidding. But no, who
You're
did
right over
Suki
there.
say that to? No. Who did
You're
Suki
right
say
over there,
that
Benedict.
to? Okay.
He lifts his head so he is addressing you. Because otherwise, if he had normal eyes, he just would have lifted his eyes up at you. Kind of one of those, yes, what do you want?
No, just making sure you're okay.
Yeah, he doesn't say that, but it's definitely that kind of look, and he goes back to opening
Yeah.
up the box.
Valid.
You said it was a mistake.
And if this is the point where people are starting to go down for the night, Suki's gonna quietly go over to the room in the right, one of the exhibit hallways, and find an empty enough spot. And I feel like this would be a good opportunity to figure out where is the necromancer right now?
Okay.
Because it's gonna be
you find like
daylight.
a little office area.
Okay.
Probably is personal spot that you can duck into. And go ahead and roll that special roll. What is it?
It's called Tune In. I can attune my mind to a monster or minion, and I roll plus weird. Just hope I don't miss. But, given that daylight is fast approaching, if not already here, it's probably a safer time to do
Yeah,
this.
it is dawn. It is like sunrise right now. There's like light filtering in through some of the gaps in the blinds. But
Okay.
and there actually is like shutters for the main doors and windows because this is a museum. It's not a big city, but this place does have some valuable stuff in it that they want to keep protected.
Excellent. I got a good roll on this. So on a 10 plus, I get a hold of 3.
Same thing.
So I can ask 3 of these questions. So the first one I'm going to ask is, where is the creature right now? As I pull out the knife and the red storm pulls up and I slowly enter through the holes and orifices of my body.
Okay. Yeah, the smoke lifts up and almost like a serpent made out of smoke, like pauses before it rushes in, and once again your vision is cast out of your body violently, thrown across through the. Oh, excuse me, jeez. Oh, sorry. Your vision is thrown out violently from your body, cast through the walls of the building and up over Fiddler's Green as the sun rises. It is a gray day, overcast, but there are a few breaks in the clouds. But the vision cast out, and you see, almost like following the path of the river, north towards the rim and the waterfall. You see, almost like fog, a dense bank of thick greenish fog has settled over what you can tell is the crater where the meteor fell and all the trees are bent outwards. You just see this thick green fog that obscures the area, and your vision zooms in closer than you were able to previously, but it seems that this fog is acting as a smokescreen against the sun.
Fair enough. So my next question of my list of questions here, who does it regard as the biggest threat?
Hmm.
So now I'm like trying to reach out to this necromancer to get what the vibe he's having is.
Yeah, and let's see, your vision like dives into the smoke, and it's hard to see because it is smoke, not like fog. You realize because even with your invisible, not incorporeal vision, it almost feels like your eyes are burning as you step into this acrid smoke. And you see a figure, humanoid, you think, shrouded. It's hard to see. But you definitely see someone there, and they're standing there, looming over a pit. No, the cauldron, and the surface is roiling as it's looking down. You see there's a staff. Can't make it out, but it's held in its grasp. As you hear that same language of the Wormstar, as you catch a glimpse of it speaking to something, you can't make it out, and you hear it. We must build our forces before we can be interfered with. The sun sees us. Not rely on these clouds for long. And then there's like a ground. It's like you think something's speaking to it, but you can't make it out because it is not the focus of your tune-in. And it replies. And it replies to whatever was speaking to it. It goes, this voice, this alien voice, it says, "Wait, are you certain?" Wraithflame. Of course they would be here.
Haha, I'm in danger.
And it goes, "That is a threat we cannot abide." And you have one more?
Yes. So I feel like the most thematic of these questions would be, who is it going to attack next? I have a vibe. I've got a feeling.
Tonight's gonna be a good night.
Yeah,
Um,
for
you
someone.
as you focus on this, and it hears as you hear it mention Wraithflame, and you can guess you're pretty sure who that might be, but the it's not the intent. You get this. They don't say this isn't like words you hear. That's more of an intent. The thing that they want to attack next is several things. They are not ready.
Okay.
They are. You get the sense that they are sending their focus west. No, east. East.
Okay.
But you are not sure, and you get the sense that they are waiting for their chance to strike because of the sun, you would assume.
Because of the sun. Okay. And that would be my 3 questions, and Zuki's just gonna stare at this necromancer fellow and be like, I've seen scarier things in movies.
It turns its head in your direction, and there are 4 emerald eyes that burn in your direction, and it goes, sneaky. And then you hear a chime, and you are catapulted out of your vision is catapulted back, and you're sitting there. You don't think it traced you, but it broke that connection once it seemed to sense you. It
And like,
was weird. It was like a strange, almost like crystalline chime sound.
so Suki's gonna pop back up in a sense, assumingly that the effect almost physically bowled her over. And she's gonna
Yeah.
like stand up on legs, poke her head, and like, so good news, decent news, and directional news? Who wants what?
So he's got her camera raised up and like puts it back down. Huh?
I guess
And
start with the bad news.
okay, so I don't have bad news. Well, it's sort of bad news. It's weird.
Give
So
us
I
bad
did the thing again, and she's saying this is like very like faint wisps of red smoke are like coming out of like her nose and her mouth as she's talking. It's like, so I did the thing again. So
What?
the necromancer's a scared little bitch. We've decimated his forces more than he's expecting, and he's moving eastwards. They're waiting. They are waiting for a while, presumably for the sun. I know roughly where the crater is.
Okay, that's good. What's the bad news?
And they're good.
At the end, I think he found out I was there. There was a weird crystal chime, but I don't think he like saw me. So that's good.
Hey, why do you want to take a picture of you? Are you covered in a cloud of red mist?
That's a long story, and I'm too tired to tell you right now.
All right, but I'm taking a
really
mulligan.
tired.
I'm taking a mulligan on that one.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
And Phineas is like, is it the term rain check? As he's just kind of like sprawled like over a couch, like a chair, kind of like an armchair, and just that's not how you're supposed to sit in chairs, Phineas.
That
What are
she
you
looks
doing?
at him.
He's sitting
Ray-
gaily.
So Zoe's
Yeah.
had her flash off. Zoe's had her flash off this whole time. But when he says that, she turns over with her flash on and takes a picture.
Ah, fuck. God, warn a bloke. As he's just like starts blinking.
Don't
And-
pass me.
So you took a picture of him.
Yes.
You see Phineas, similar to how he looks, or you see him as he looks, because he's not putting up a glamour. He's just sitting there with this band T-shirt and a leather punks jacket, just covered in patches and metal studs and spikes. But it's
Yeah.
like those. I don't know the term. It's like those old holographic cards where if you turn it slightly at a different angle, you see you see a satyr there. It's him, but he's like in an old Greco-Roman looking robe. He's got vines in his hair.
Aw.
Rather than a flask in one hand that he had, he's got like a giant amphora of wine. It looks like, and yeah, it just looks like how he used to be back before he came to this new world.
Interesting.
Yeah, Phineas is sitting gaily because no ancient Greek can be het.
No.
Also, it's hard to sit in chairs with goat legs.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So the cook says like, "Oh, it's you. Like, older you, younger you?" Syntax.
And if you show him, he's like, "Oh wow, figure after all these years, nice."
What was that?
And he's like, "I kept my figure after all these years, nice." And he just takes a long swig of his flask.
It won't if you keep
Well,
that
at
up.
least you didn't do the thing and point at him and go, "Ha ha, old!"
No. Zoe is immortal. She doesn't completely know it yet, but Zoe's immortal now.
As far as you're aware.
No, she is immortal.
Phineas goes,
Not physically
I mean-
immortal, but age-wise
Look.
immortal.
he goes, "Well, I'm about to pass out from just being tired as fuck, hiking around all night. But before I pass out, just because I'm like being cautious, should we do shifts? Like someone keep watch, so others
That's a
sleep."
good idea, actually. I'll take first watch because I'm looking at these photos. So
The sleepless robot seems to be glaring at you all when you ask that question.
Hey, like Phineas just points and he's like, "All right, I know. He'll be fine apparently."
he doesn't sleep. He's still got to rest at some point, I'm sure.
No.
Irrelevant.
Anyway, hey, buddy, Talon, buddy.
And it just like kind of looks up. It's been. Kaiko, you'd probably noticed this probably before anyone else. This thing has been doing its best to keep on the other side of the room that you have been while trying.
And
Still
Kaiko's
take
giving
both-
it its face.
I'll also try to stick close to Zoe.
Aw. She's
Or-
going to
yeah.
raise up her camera. Is it okay if I take a picture of you?
And it like tilts its head. It saw you doing it to the others, so it doesn't seem worried.
Yeah, okay. Stop the picture.
You see a Talon, and it is fully repaired. You see its arm. It's kind of translucent, as like a ghost limb almost, but it just looks like a fully intact thing. But rather than, actually, no one would have seen this. You see, similar to the hunter's halo, but rather than a deep, that deep red of the hunter's halo, there is a smaller, more modest, modest, but a smaller, more compact halo that is a flickering, complementary. I want to stress this complementary mix of green and purple.
Oh.
It is not clashing. It is complementary.
Yeah. Eva
God.
uses
And-
Eggplant.
And you actually see that where its torso is, you see a small ball of green flame. That's just kind of sitting where its heart would be.
Oh.
And actually, if you took a picture of Suki, Suki, you don't have the moth out, not the moth, the chrysalis.
Yeah, I was actually. I wanted to get to that too. Because Zoe
if
offered to
asked
be the
to-
first watch. Claire's a Benedict.
If offered, asked, Suki will pull out the small chrysalis and be like, "But you can take a picture."
Yeah.
Don't
Snaps a photo.
don't know if you'll like what you'll see, but hey.
I mean, it was a caterpillar cadaver eater, so snaps a picture of the cocoon.
You see the cocoon, but
Great,
it is on fire.
cool. Thanks. Moving on.
Green fire.
What?
It has that green. You see that little skull shape? It's like kind of like a death's head. It's not a distinct skull, but it's that's clearly skull-ish symbol. That's like almost like pressed into the surface of the chrysalis. Where the eyes would be, there's two little motes of green fire.
Is it similar to the fire in
But
the Talon?
Yes. Same
Is the
shade.
green? Is the green just like the color of undeath? Because like the green, I don't know. It's a little worrying. I think. Mind if I take?
And Phineas, as he's like mumbles, he's like, I mean, it did eat a bunch of them, right?
I
And
hope.
then it changed into that.
Yeah, I hope it's okay, and this isn't like hurting it.
And he just passes out.
It's out,
Like,
yeah.
that was it.
Can I hold it for a second, Suki?
Sure. Just don't trap it.
I won't. Scoops up the cocoon.
I don't know, you dropped your skin.
I don't drop it. I shed it.
But you left it on the floor.
I know. Things have been kind of busy. I entirely intend to go pick it up before we leave. Okay, picks up the cocoon, rubs a hand over it gently.
It's warm to the touch.
Wonder what stage of liquefying you are in there. I hope you're okay, little guy. Does it seem okay?
From the term of watching a monarch butterfly, from caterpillar to butterfly, it seems as perfectly fine. It seems like a healthy chrysalis, if not for the fact it's looks like it's made out of ivory. It looks like scrimshaw.
What is like the texture feeling? Does it feel like bone, or does it feel more like a chrysalis?
Had a momentary thing where everything cut out. What about the chrysalis?
Oh, running my hands over it, does it feel like a chrysalis, or does it feel like it's made of bone?
It's sturdy. Yeah, it's really sturdy.
The texture, there's a difference between
I mean, that's what I'm trying to say. It's sturdy like bone.
Okay. I mean, it was already aligned with undead, or sort of, before now, and they still wanted to kill it, so I can't imagine it's going to metamorphosize into something, good for them?
And is Zoe saying that out loud?
Yes.
Is Keiko still up?
Keiko's nodding off, but she's getting it.
You did get that sense, actually, and how from the tracker and from the ghost fire, you got the sense that this thing had gorged itself on the undead and is now feel like it's radiating with that energy source.
It gorged itself on them and is not ready.
And Keiko's out for the count.
I figured that out. I hope it's okay in here. Hands it back to Suki.
Just put it somewhere.
Suki's just been putting it in her little shirt pocket.
You get this. Okay.
Yeah,
because it's because it feels like bone. That's why it didn't squish like a regular chrysalid would have.
Yeah.
I checked. I checked.
So, yeah.
waits her, you know,
Uh,
lets everyone, get to their sleep, and Zoe does go and collect her shed skin.
the Talon does follow after you.
Oh, do you sleep?
Just kind of tilts its head.
You know, she points to everyone else. Sleep.
Yeah, and it goes, just does a shrug, but then it does it's was curious about what you were doing it with as you were grabbing the skin. But-
well, this is a part of me that I removed to when I want to turn into the other version of me.
You gonna eat that?
And
It wasn't trying to be pushy, but that is kind of the vibe you get. It's kind of looking at it
no!
it's
She
doing
doesn't
owl.
put-
It's in a weird owl, almost owl head bobbing motion as it's just kind of looking at it, but it just looks to you.
Zoe has not put that together yet. She's just talking, explaining her shedding to it as she's walking back into the room.
Zoe,
Huh?
feed your monster your skin.
What? No!
And then she falls asleep completely.
It's already chewing on the tail. Good night.
No, he's not. She just looks back to the Talon.
I
Like
mean,
a
it's
Zoe
pretty
roll-up.
protein.
She looks back to the
It's just
Talon.
kind of just looking at you.
Do you are you always hungry?
And it looks to its arm and to some of the wounds.
Oh, eating helped your arm grow back.
And it gives a short little head bob of a nod.
Okay, well, she looks to make sure everyone is.
You did see the Talon fishing. Those first two that you and Celia took out.
Yeah. Oh, I guess if this will help you, but don't eat it where I can see it. It's still it still looks like me sometimes.
And yeah, this doesn't seem to bother it too much, but it does. If you, this is weird. This is weird. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
I mean, snakes. Snakes eat their shed sometimes, right?
But yeah,
I was
lizards do
thinking
too.
more I was thinking more how chicken or other birds will eat the egg. The mother bird will eat the eggshell after the chicks hatch to get the calcium back.
It makes sense why it makes sense. Zoe was just not prepared for feed the monster your shed skin. She tends to just save those up and burn them every once in a while. Benedict taking the one shed was out of the ordinary for her. She tends to disposing of them.
So yeah,
This is disposing of.
If you leave it behind, it'll wait for you to leave the room before it cleans up.
So yeah, she lets it eat her shed and
To
goes to
get
the
that
other room.
sweet Zoe skin.
No.
The gamey taste of snake.
After a few minutes, it slinks back out and goes and sits up against one of the walls, avoiding. It seems to be avoiding where it would fear sunlight would come through the windows by hiding up against the wall itself. It just kind of sits down there with its despite how tall this thing is, it kind of folds up sort of compactly with its knees up against its chest and arm around its leg. Not defensively, but this just seems to be how they fold up to rest as it just kind of sinks in. Kind of like a xenomorph does when they're just at
I was
rest.
about to say.
Yeah. Zoe, smiles
And
at it again.
As you look at it, you see the gouges in its skull. They do seem a little bit shallower. was
Are they
in-
like growing back over with the color of Zoe's skin?
Not quite.
Gotta make it even creepier.
Okay. Yeah, I mean, not necessarily. Zoe's been helping it.
Oh, if you feed enough of your pelt, it'll eventually just look like your skin draped over this shape.
Oh, shut up. You're asleep. You're asleep. Get out of here.
Well,
Hey.
at least now I'll know what you taste like.
Ah!
Hey,
Okay,
hey guys.
Reality?
Not to be selfish, but I might need to wrap a little early. My brain is not good.
okay.
We can wrap.
How much longer are you good for this?
I don't know.
I mean, we would only have an hour left anyway.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and this would be a decent spot, pick up with,
Everybody
people
wakes
waking
up.
up or doing next shift.
Yeah.
That works.
And we end on the comedy beat of all the many nightmarish ways things that could result from letting a fucking space zombie eat your shed skin.
Yep.
I wasn't expecting it to get weird, okay?
You
I
should
mean-
have.
Here, how would you not?
You should have. All right.
Yeah.
I'm gonna stop streaming.